The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day after the market close. Tom takes your phone calls from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time using the data available at that time.
Let's go to Glenn in Massachusetts. Hey, Glenn, what's going on?
You know what is good for us is Tom O'Brien providing an unbiased source of information for us investors. You don't have an agenda. It's just to cut through everything and to give us the facts. I want to thank you.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
And now, here's Tom O'Brien.
Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 2 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone had a great weekend, safe weekend. Let's make it a great week, folks. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Don't take anything personally. Ignore the opinions of others. Whatever people do, feel, think, or say, don't take it personally. Others are going to have their own opinion according to their belief system. So whatever they think about you is not about you, but is about them. That one's a trip getting your head wrapped around that one. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow up 178, NASDAQ up 48, S&P's up 19, gold contract up $10.40, trading at $1,426 an ounce. Silver up $1.07 at $36.13. Platinum up $23, trading at $1,745 an ounce. Copper down 4 pennies at $4.29 a pound. Light sweet crude up $1.08 at $102.93 a barrel. Bonds down 10 ticks, trading out at 121.14. Dollar index down 29 ticks at 75.68. Euro up 3 ticks at 142. Yen up 48 ticks, trading out at 81.07. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world? In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. What do we have? Well, we go back to February 18th. You were at 1344. First leg down gets you into 1249. We get into 1249 on the 16th with 1.4 billion. On the 18th, now Friday, what we did is that we pushed higher with 1.9. That 1.9 billion, folks, was going against the 15th, which is 1.2. Today, you do a billion shares. What are we going against? You're going against the downdraft of the 23rd, where we had 1.3 billion on that first leg down. You're going against the downdraft on the 24th, which is 1.2. So you can see you get there's a counter trend bounce with a acceleration with lighter volume. That's your S&P. Dow Industrials, same type of setup in the Dow Industrials. Dow gets up to 12,078 today. That is going. We hit at 12,063, which was the initial downdraft coming off the highs. That was on the 23rd. What you had here is that you got 1 billion versus 1.3. Now, what does that set up? Well, this is what it sets up. It's not an ABC down, and the reason I suspect that it's not is this. On Friday, even though it was option expiration on the 18th, you had volume come in to the top side. That was the 1.9 billion in the NYSE. The same thing happened in the NASDAQ. So what that sets up is a consolidation. It'll try to hammer out the bottom once again. As we come back down there, you can see like today you're up with lighter volume, you're going into a high volume down day. What that sets up is that you're going to come back down. It's going to try to take out the bottom. The reason I'm saying that at this point you don't have an ABC down is that the definition is you need volume on the way down, lighter volume on the way back up. Now that's on the indices, okay? Let's go over to the NASDAQ composite first. You can see what happened in the composite. What the NASDAQ composite did was this. NASDAQ composite, we came off the high of 2840. You go down to a price point there of 2600. On Friday, the composite did 2.7 billion. Well, right off the bat, because that did that, that negates the ABC down. Today, no volume whatsoever, 1.7 billion. The 1.7 billion is going against 2.4 billion. So it's like, you know what? This baby wants to go lower. Now, those are the indices. Now, let me show you where there's divergence, however. And where it is, inside the ETF structures. Inside the ETF structures, this is what we have. If you go to the SPY, what we have is this. The SPY got to a low with 469 million at 125. On Friday, it did not get the juice. It was only 230 million. Today, you only did 150. That does set up, and this is where the divergence is, that is saying, bottom line, that low wants to get tested, the 125.28. We'll see whether it breaks it with volume. But see, you can see where the divergence is. That's on the SPY. If we go to the 4Qs, what you have, you also have the same setup in the 4Qs. The 4Qs made a low of 53.77 with 176 million. Friday, you only did 994 million. Today, you did 56. That's saying 4Qs want to go lower. NDX 100. And in fact, folks, the NDX 100 is a different animal. Why is it a different animal? Well, the weighting structure is a different animal. If we go over and we take a look at Apple, Apple was up $8.60 today. Apple had that low out there of 326 on Friday with 41 million, doing 14 million. That 14 is going into 31. Apple's going to have a problem period. You know, the Apple is building cars to get into that 326 area, going all the way back to the 18th of January. We take a look at the small caps. This is what we had with the small caps. Small caps today go up with 49 million. That 49 million is going into 91 million. Gold contract. Let's go over and we take a look at gold. The price spread in gold out here today was 1423 to 1435. That 1435.10, we did 115,000 contracts, and that's not enough juice, folks. What you have, we at the 1434 on the other side of December 7th, we had 235,000 contracts. We came down on March 15th with 248,000 contracts. That's what it was testing out here today, as well as the highs from the 7th. Couldn't bust it up. What are we going to do? Going to be back down to 1380. We go take a look at silver. Silver contract out here. Silver did 48,000 contracts. That 48,000 contracts is coming against 105,000 contracts. So silver's going to need a lot more juice to basically get over these highs. Now, what silver has done is that we are at 36.14. So that is over the downdraft of the 15th. So what that sets up is that, hey, you know, 36.74 is game. That high is game out there. No two ways about it. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world. In the world of the Federal Reserve, folks, okay, let me tell you something. This is going to be, well, number one, this is a first, and this is what it is. The Federal Reserve today lost the case against Bloomberg News to release the documents from the 2008 when they gave all the money, when they gave the money to all the banks. This is a first, folks, that the Fed has had to release anything. They say they are going to release all the documents. Some of the news that came out was pretty cool, meaning that a few of the, well, actually a couple of Bloomberg news writers come out and says, okay, it's about time they're going to come out with it. And unfortunately, I believe the guy that actually had brought this, I believe he passed away. But they pursued it, and the bottom line, the Fed's going to have to come up with it. Now, this is how the deal goes, folks. The Fed is going to have to come up with these documents within 5 days. The order came down this afternoon, about noontime. So it's going to be interesting to see how this shakes out. What they did do, you talk about the press in general, folks. Let me tell you something. What is absolutely amazing is that this is the first time in 93 years that the Fed has to come up with anything. And this was a one-liner that came across the Bloomberg News, and it's not even in the top news, okay? So take that for what it's worth. And what it's worth, folks, when you look right across to me, what it's worth looking right across the world, they want to basically keep us all in the dark. That's the bottom line. But we'll see. Let's see, Friday. So, see, that'd be Friday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, it'd be perfect. Come out with that news, Saturday night or Saturday night. Something real, but we'll see where it shakes and bakes. What we are going to get out of that, though, when this baby comes out, folks, you're going to know how much money they got. You're going to know what the terms were. I mean, there's a lot of stuff inside there that you are going to that is going to be disclosed. Some of the high volume stocks we had out here today. You had Sprint Nextel was down 69 cents. We had Marvell up 32. That was all about Marvell going after the wireless communication of Deutschcom. Cisco was up 25 cents. We had Microsoft up 53. Intel was up 26. Verizon was up 62. You had Quest Communications down 24. Dell was up 20. EMC was up 99. ExxonMobil, look at that little baby. She was up 104. XOM, let's 229 rather. Interesting. So ExxonMobil was up $1.99. That was after coming off a high of 88. She's at 82 right now. She's going to need a lot more juice. She's actually got an ABC structure on the way down setting up. And when we talk about deviant, folks, with all the action around the world, and this is how markets love to move, folks. Bottom line, I'm sure many of you might have thought that, you know what, you're going to get futures down. And, folks, that first leg down was the first leg down. You got two high ticks. That's how markets move. They're deviant, and bottom line is that this is a counter trend bounce. The gold market, I suspect, what does absolutely blow my mind in this particular case is that whether you're talking gold, whether you're silver is closer to the high, but it's amazing when you have this type of action in Asia and the Middle East and Africa, and gold can't get over its highs. What that's saying flat out is that you're still in, a situation that gold wants, the metal itself wants to pull back. The equities themselves, they've pulled back quite a bit, and they've been pulling back for about 3 months. We go to the bond market. We take a look at bonds. What we have out here with bonds is this. Bonds out there today, the 30-year, she backed down 10 ticks, dramatically lighter volume. This bond, folks, basically wants to move. That means, when I say move, this wants to move topside. Rates are going to go lower. The last high in the 30-year was 123.22. That had 531,000 contracts. We backed into that today with 268. This could be a real large ABC. And we're talking about an 8-point ABC, which would put the bond at 128. Right now, you're at 121.14. We take a look at the Google. What you had out there with Google earlier today, the SEC come out, and they were questioning Google's practices of the amount of profits that they take in countries that have very low tax codes. Google has been off a high of 642 down to a level of 551. Google is still making its way into this gap. That gap down there is at 537. What I found really unusual about the SEC and the documents they requested, though, it's almost like the SEC was basically doing the IRS's job. Pretty amazing. We ended out finish up 178, NASDAQ up 48, S&P's up 18. You stay right there, folks. We're coming right back.